Gojo Satori. The name itself commands respect, awe, and fear within the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, but beneath his seemingly invincible exterior lies a complex character designed for tragedy. And as we already know, tragedy has hit, he is already dead. And in the latest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen 261, not only is he dead, but now his body is being utilized as a vehicle to continue the battle against the greatest evil sorcerer of existence, Sukuna. So this video is going to cover the truth as to why I now realize that Gojo Satori was meant to be the representation of what happens when a character dies as the hero and they are not left to stay dead. And it's just crazy, you know, there's an old saying, right? You either die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain. And in Gojo's case, he is now still alive through the powers of Yuta's curse technique. And through this action, I believe that we are going to get the greatest threat any Jujutsu sorcerer has ever seen in the history of Jujutsu sorcerers. And I'm going to break down this fact as to why it is so brilliant. Gege, you're very clever, but I'm on to you. In the ever-evolving world of Jujutsu Kaisen, Chapter 261 has introduced a game-changing development, the combination of Yuta Okkotsu and Satori Gojo. This powerful duo has now unleashed a new technique with a time-sensitive twist, transforming into a possible curse technique after 5 minutes. And we're going to dive into this mechanic and implications of this groundbreaking ability. Yuta is a very gifted sorcerer and Satori Gojo is the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer. Right, and they have always been formidable individually, but their combination brings an unprecedented level of power and complexity to the battlefield. Right, so this new technique that was utilized by Yuta to take over Gojo's body has now made things very complex. We saw in this latest chapter, Gojo breaks down that Yuta needs to utilize his cursed powers better, right, and get more control over it. But in taking over Gojo's body, and we are not sure if Yuta has cleaned up his curse energy training, we don't know what happens after 5 minutes, and it's been terrorized, as we already saw, that is 3 possible outcomes, but I believe it's a 4th, right? The 3 possible outcomes of this new utilization of his curse technique in Gojo's body is 1, he dies after 5 minutes have elapsed. The second possibility is he dies eventually because he will not have a constant flow of curse energy to keep up with Kenjaku's technique of the body taking over, or body hopping, or whatever you want to call it. And the third possibility is he gets to live in Gojo's body for the rest of his life. But I present to you a 4th possibility, which is Yuta can become a vengeful cursed spirit if he's unable to kill Sukuna within the 5 minutes and he dies in Gojo's body. So we know that this technique that Yuta is utilizing using the Kenjaku technique to hijack Gojo's body allows Yuta to channel Gojo's immense power through his own curse energy, creating a synergy that amplifies their abilities exponentially, right? And for 5 minutes they become an unstoppable force capable of neutralizing even the most formidable of curses, which is Sukuna. But however, this immense power is not without its drawbacks. The technique has a strict time limit because after 5 minutes, the balance of energies can possibly begin to destabilize, leading to a dramatic transformation, which is the cursed vengeful spirit. And I'm bringing this up because when we look at what a classification for a vengeful cursed spirit is broken down as this: a cursed spirit created when humans become a curse after death. Those whose death are cursed have the possibility of having their spirits corrupted and transformed into a vengeful spirit. Sorcerers have an increased chance of turning into a curse after death, but this can be prevented by killing them with Jujutsu, right? And we saw an example of this with Rika, because Rika, who was transformed into a vengeful curse spirit, this happened because Yuta could not accept her death and cursed it on accident. To further add credibility to this theory that Yuta/Gojo will become a cursed vengeful spirit, their ancestor Michigan Suaragua, I'm sorry, I suck at pronunciation, but their ancestor was able to become a vengeful cursed spirit. Actually, they became one of the big three, and it is because of this link, I believe, that Yuta / Gojo can become a vengeful cursed spirit after 5 minutes. Because if Yuta dies in Gojo's body, and he has that lingering to stop Sukuna no matter what, and which he already stated in chapter 261, he's willing to become a monster to do this. It further adds possible evidence to support the fact that Yuta can then become a vengeful cursed spirit. Another piece of evidence that adds further validation to the theory that Yuta in Gojo's body can become a cursed vengeful spirit is the discussion that Yuta and Gojo were having when Yuta was asking if it's okay to take over Gojo's body in the event that he dies in a battle against Sukuna. Gojo touched upon their relations through blood and said that Yuta may have more abilities because of his bloodline. But again, this bloodline has been mentioned a few times in the series already, so there's great significance. And the way how Gege writes, I believe that he's trying to point out this possible transformation happening where Yuta in Gojo's body becomes a cursed vengeful spirit, and then that could lead to Yuji becoming the ultimate savior, because he will have no other choice but to defeat Yuta or Yugo or whoever you want to call him now, because they're combined, but pretty much Yuta in Gojo's body, because he'll have no choice but to stop them after the defeat of Sukuna. And I think in so doing, Kenjaku's plan of creating the ultimate cursed warrior will be completed. We still don't have an idea of what Sukuna was given by Kenjaku and what purpose it has, and if it's going to allow Sukuna to use either Yuji or himself to start the merger. But at the end of the day, I really believe that things are not going to work out as we expected to, because Gege has a way of, circumventing people's theories and everything. But I do believe that Gojo / Yuta can become a threat to the will of humanity, and I feel that Yuji may have no choice but to stop them. The transformation to a cursed spirit is both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, it grants Yuta a new set of abilities derived from their combined strength, the combined strength of Gojo and Yuta. On the other hand, it poses as a significant risk to their humanity and control over their actions. And in a cursed spirit form, Yuta and Gojo will exhibit unparalleled strength and ferocity, right? Their attacks become more primal and driven by the raw, unfiltered energy coursing through their new entity. However, the lack of control and the inherent instability will make this form a danger to allies, because they'll be pretty much treating everything as an enemy. And, this vengeful feeling, it may cause them to go berserk completely, right? And the 5-minute limit serves as a crucial balancing factor, right? Once this threshold is crossed, the cursed spirit form becomes, or the form that will be created will become an increasingly unstable risk to the battlefield. And this is why I think it's very possible that something like this can happen, because this battle, has been unpredictable thus far, and Sukuna has proven time and time again that he's an entity beyond reasoning and beyond comprehension. It's going to take something even greater than him to defeat him, right? And the emergence of this technique that Yuta created introduced a new layer of strategy for the allies, but it's definitely a double-edged sword. So they have to try to defeat Sukuna within this 5-minute period, or I believe that Yuta has risked becoming this monster that Yuji will then be left to stop. So that's my theory. I think that Yuta in Gojo's body is going to become a vengeful cursed spirit, and Yuji is going to be left picking up the pieces. And this is because Yuji has accepted the fact that he will hunt cursed spirits, because as he stated against Mahito, "I'll accept it, Mahito. I am you. I wanted to reject you. I wanted to pretend I didn't understand what you said. but that's different now. I'll just kill you. And if you've ever reborn again as a new curse, I'll kill you then too. You can change your name and change your appearance, but I'll still kill you again and again. I don't need meaning or a reason for it anymore. Maybe there will be some meaning to be found from my actions several centuries after I'm dead, but I'm sure I'm just one big cog in the wheel. I'll keep on killing curses until I rust away, because that is my role in this war. So again, I believe, and this is just a theory, that Gege is going to fulfill Yuji's purpose, and Yuji is going to be the main character, and he's going to carry out this process, and it's going to show that no matter who the cursed spirit is, he's going to wipe them out, right? Maybe Yuta and Yuji, they defeat Sukuna before this action happens, but I feel, I could be wrong, but I do feel in my theory that Yuji is going to have to put Gojo Yuta down. And that's the theory, guys. Tell me what you think and comment down below. And as always, thank you for watching the video. If you like this video and you want to see more theory videos like this, feel free to subscribe and comment down below to let me know what theories or ideas you guys have. Take care.